veterinarian in Alaska. She was visibly upset.
Was that from its first marriage? Okay. Oh, darn.
It was well attended.
Yeah.
I thought the pastor of that. I don't think he's the pastor of this one. I think he's the pastor of another church, Lutheran church. But I thought he did a really good job. He obviously knew Eric very well.
Even if they're, I'm sure he did, yeah. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And then you're going to make me look.
Oh, yeah, it's very independent. Which kind of surprises me that they put it in there, but that was nice, I guess.
Well, and I don't think they put anything in there that he didn't want in there.
Right, right.
Huh. I see that. I missed that when I read it first
Is that
time.
right?
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
It is.
Morning, Al.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
All right.
That's enthusiasm. Monday morning enthusiasm.
Feel like I'm taking 10 steps forward and 20 back.
Lots of people.
Oh, we got served. Same thing, just different ones.
My name Keeper.
Well, it's just. Insurers. And here's this.
So that's what I didn't like letting the camel get their nose in the tent. All right. What's that clothesline project? Is that for the quilts?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is that the same date as the Fall Fest,
What's the dance?
October 22nd?
Let's see, Fall Fest is like.
So I know they used to do it, well, this is a different outfits doing it. I've never seen what these camps, but they used to, because it's the quilt ladies that used to do it.
What is that? Some kind of, is it actually quilt stuff?
Yeah, but it says,
I think it's when
the clothesline project. So, I've lost what I wondered if it was this clothesline project, was the clothesline stuff when it
No,
comes to
that's
quilts, so
something
it must be different.
That's different,
Yeah.
because I think we have an email on there, that person too. It's different.
Yeah.
That's on
Fall
the
Fest and Chili Cook Rock is October 11th.
Okay.
email.
Well, I don't know.
It's in the 27th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Will you shut the minutes? Thank you.
Did you get the budget certification for the conservation district?
Are you gonna carry the microphones over there? Huh? Oh, yeah. It'd be nice if you had your microphone so we could hear what's being said.
Okay, I didn't know the order there. Okay. Yeah, I'll get one.
And whoever sits at the table too, their report. I mean, I'm interested in the hospital and everything. We will vote for the hospital, that's for sure. Does it matter which one?
Yeah, that's right, too.
Yeah.
The batter bar.
No, there's one of them over there that doesn't work, doesn't turn on, doesn't do anything, so. All right.
Ooh, this shirt turns on.
Really?
We all do have a couple of letters. And then we're doing flu shots at 8:30.
Say that again.
Flu shots at 8.
I saw that.
Go back.
All right, at 9 o'clock, call meeting to order for pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Somebody.
You're loud.
I think it's happening.
That's what happened the other night.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Turn that back on. Which, almost which one is? Is it 2? Up there on the black box.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn the volume down that a little bit and see if that does it. Try that and see if it does.
Point now. It's still playing loud.
All right. Well, we got some stuff to take care of housekeeping first. We have a card from Phil and Beth Moveable, thank you card. Thank you for the appreciation, recognition, gift certificates, pleasure working for Sheriff Morris. Thanks for all you do, Phil Moveable. We have Jackson County Courtyard Lawn Use request from YWCA of Northeast Kansas for a clothesline project, and what this is for survivors of domestic violence, and that is the October 22nd from 9:30 to 2:30. I'll pass that down so we can look. Ashley York has vetted it. Do we need a motion on that to approve or just consensus? I shall need to sign that with you. So consensus is this is approved. There's 2. And I think everybody got their packets. We have a couple of emails. Both asking questions about the solar regulations, which need to be addressed to the Planning Commission right now, as we have no dog in the fight right here. Once Planning Commission gets to us, then we will review them and go from there. We have some tax abatements On the September 11th minutes, did we called for a motion to adjourn, correct? Okay. No, it just says, I said it was adjourned, so we need to get that in there. And also, I would like to, the paragraph about the budget hearing, down there where the motion passed 2-1, I would like noted that I voted no. Just so there's no confusion with the public.
Should know if Alice was the only one present or not.
Yeah, probably.
And I just sort of want to
Do what?
we didn't do a motion to adjourn, we just adjourned off that.
Okay. The script from the state, basically, is what that is. Okay. Lyman. Everything's fine, Dave.
Yeah.
Good, so, great. before we get going to Road and Bridge, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Probably moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed, same sign, motion carried. Jump in there, Scott.
Okay. 234 lane over here, deer run, we've got those curb signs put up, like we talked about last week, so those are installed up. We'll do a couple things. Still got that list I gave you guys a while back about closing roads, so we'll give them a down on the proposals to make a decision on that.
No, we have not.
Okay,
Can't hear me.
What?
it's on.
Yeah.
We'll make this,
Yeah, those are, like to look at person and talk to them. Inspection on bridges, don't try. Go ahead with that. Estimate around $40,000.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to, but did you reach out to BIA and see if there's any money for this that they're gonna throw in, or?
I have not yet.
I thought Todd was gonna send a letter to him, but
well, no, that's, I think we still, remember that, I think we're still tied up in the question of whether we're gonna, who's got what, right?
No, these were the 40 bridges or whatever it was, however many.
These are 38 of them.
38 of them that were not on either, inventory.
13.
but these 13.
13,
These
okay,
bridges,
13, they're not on
these
either
bridges
inventory.
were built by the tribe.
Some of them I found, yes, were built by the tribe.
Okay.
They're all on the reservation. So
And they haven't been inspected since,
2004, some of the stuff, right?
yeah.
What are we getting as far as the report? We did an inspection, what was we getting?
Well, you would hire the engineering firm that does our inspections, they go down there and go over the bridge and let you know where you have scouring underneath the bridge, the deck is in good shape or not in good shape,
whether it needs to be closed or not.
close or not, correct.
Okay. Well, yeah, and I was going over, I had just a lot of paperwork. I started going through that stuff about all the bridges. And somebody gave me 2 files of stuff that goes back all the way to 81. And I'm trying to track from that where we're going, and I haven't got through it all.
I guess I wouldn't spend a lot of time on that. I guess at this point, they've got to be inspected. I would reach out to the BIA through letter or email or however and say, these bridges haven't been inspected. They're required to be inspected. And if we're going to do it, do you have funding to help offset that? And give them the estimate, $40,000. I don't care which. It's probably cheaper if you do it, so we don't have to pay Todd to.
Yeah, that's in the,
Do you have a contact with the city?
Bureau of Indian Affairs in Horton.
Who's that?
Bureau of Indian Affairs in Horton.
In Horton, yeah.
That's the local office. That's where you would go first.
And you know, I mean, I would, I guess if it was me, I would write out a letter and hand carry it into them. Talk to them face to face.
well, there is a question. I mean, do we know if these are on anybody's inventory?
They're not.
They're not, did you check the
Yes.
federal database?
That's what we're working on.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's just it. The guess is that if they don't have it on their inventory, they're not going to acknowledge it exists.
So along with that letter, they need to understand that we can't afford to rebuild some of these. So if they need to be closed, they will be closed.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah.
And I was thinking more of a case of if we got the reports that we would hold them, and then if they wanted them, we would have to pay to get them. Right? Just, if we're forced to that.
Well, my question again still is, they've got 40 bridges that are on their inventory. How did those all get put on their inventory? I'm not finding any documentation, memorandum of understanding, nothing. Tara, she went back and looked at some stuff the other day, because I found something in there about the BIA routes back in the mid-70s, and she went back and there's really not a whole lot of talk of, the tribe taking things over. It's just,
It could have been as simple as them just saying they're on their inventory.
Well, what happened was, and I just found this out, it's really interesting. Remember, we had that 83 resolution where the county said, here's all these roads, presumably bridges too. They didn't say that. I don't recall them saying that. Here's all these roads. These are all going to be tribal roads.
They're going to be their responsibility for maintenance, they're not tribal roads.
Well, yeah. Whatever that deal was,
Yeah.
we're going to, they'll maintain them.
Where can I get a copy of
Well, you don't want it because the Department of Interior said no thank you. That's the other part of it. I just had the resolution. I didn't have the response.
Right, so,
No thanks.
so at this point in time, based on that information, there still are responsibility for maintenance. Again, I would have a conversation with Bureau of Indian Affairs saying, look,
Okay.
these bridges are on the reservation, they're ours to maintain. And if we have, because they're not being maintained, if we have to do that, it's gonna be at your foot the bill, or we may have to close them temporarily while we save up enough money through taxpayer money to get it done.
And the ones that are the biggest concern is the ones on 158.
For sure.
that. 182 is
182.
Yeah.
Do you know Steve Duryea down there at the tribe?
I do know.
He would be able to tell you who to get in contact with the PIA. He does all their land stuff and taxes and
What's his last name?
Steve Duryea, he's from Circleville, the registered deeds can probably tell you how to get on.
Is he still working for them now?
I think so. Last time, you don't think so?
Well, I think there's a guy, it's young, World Water District number 3 board. There's a guy, I think with that, or Durea, for sure, that I thought was not working for the tribe.
Registered deed, no.
Yeah, well,
So
so there's a call.
if he's still there, he can guide you in the right direction and do a good job. Because he's helped us before when we did stuff.
And again, Horton's right there, so you can reach out.
But I would put that pretty close to the top of your priority list.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Pre-construction meeting we had down on 246 and the J2 bridge down there last Thursday, so we've got everything ironed out there. Contractors all set up, and they're looking to start on the 6th. We talked about that before. Probably going to be closed the bridge for at least 90 days.
90 days. Okay.
and is that a bus route or anything?
I talked to the guys out there, they didn't think so, but I told Jennifer to get a hold of the sheriff's department now and the schools.
Right. Okay, that's perfect.
If we close at 6.
You might want to publish whatever the detour route's going to be on Facebook,
Okay.
the county website.
Fuel systems up and running, things look pretty decent, haven't had any issues with any of the guys having problems yet, so, again, this is an impression, better good for Americans. Single ticket, sounds like they had a visitor out there last week.
I was out there.
Rock budget, we've got money set aside for W Road, which leaves us $168,000 left in the 4% for any other emergency. Talked to Matt this morning, told him, I said, I don't want any rock put down unless he or myself approves it. So we're going to be shutting it off unless it's an emergency.
Yeah, mud holes, that type of thing, blowouts.
Yep.
Again, we should be collecting more money, for the rest of the year. So service
That doesn't include the fund of the highway fuel tax reimbursement.
That goes into an income account that helps offset the budget. So, you will depend on that.
Right. But in an emergency, we have that.
that will probably go away after we use the road fuel in the equipment. We've got the road fuel out here for the trucks, and then the dyed fuel for the equipment, and that goes away. We have been using all these years, been using clear for trucks and equipment, and that's what you like.
Isn't this, though, what I'm talking about, isn't that a refund from?
The
It was
fuel
sold.
expense that you send into the state, that's what I'm saying.
This is highway money that we get quarterly, no matter what.
Okay, correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
Fuel tax.
Yeah.
All right,
But it's
good.
not that you send me info.
All right. Good, thanks. Last week, they put a 5-foot pipe in out on 182 between Hard and 75 Highway. Did some ditching, on M Road, 222 to 214. This week they're out on 278 Y to Z. And then again, W Road, talking about this morning, about getting 2 bridges put out there. That need resolved.
Okay.
That's all I
One of the things, Todd, did you find anything out, or did you send anything to Wright Speed about that?
Well, I got through that and I had questions, so.
Okay.
If you guys done with your other stuff, I'll ask you now. Is the witness comfortable? What is that now?
Okay.
That's good.
It's good, everybody likes it, okay. I think 21880 West Road, that was I think it was just graded up, wasn't it? Because that looks pretty clear to me that was not
Yes.
any
That
reasonable depth.
the cable was only buried about 2 or 3 inches underground.
Okay. That's what the pictures made it look like that. 10800 254th Road. It looks like they had a ticket, like a run call ticket, but I'm not seeing how deep it was in the pictures. You know what happened there?
So the one with the culvert, or
Yeah, it looks like there's some cement that was being torn up.
yeah, that one there is where they were trying to tear some concrete out, and the slab of concrete got away from them and fell, and hit the line.
So, how deep was it buried? Do you know?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
How did that, I mean, it looks like, kind of like a box culvert? Was that-
Yes.
Okay, so,
We were tearing it out,
you're not, and part of it fell over.
part of it fell.
How far was it from the,
I don't know.
well, that's the big one, that's about 20 grand. And I don't think I didn't see anything on 8656 254th Road as far as pictures were concerned. I didn't know what the details were about that one.
The other one was where the cable ran down by the concrete. It was only like 6 inches away from the concrete. When the guy was trying to dig there, he put the little tooth on the bucket. Got it there, so, you know.
So it's too close.
Realistically, it shouldn't have been that close to the concrete. You know, like have a little thread between the cable and the concrete. So,
Are they getting one-call tickets for these, or are they doing this stuff?
that's,
They had the one for 254th Road, but they didn't have one, well, I guess 8656, I didn't see one for package center, but they had one for 10800, so.
one we did not do with the 811 call was for the one that was just very,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that.
normally if you just clean in the ditch like that, you know, just minimum scraping,
Yeah.
we normally don't call it a ticket on that. They're a dig deeper, yes.
That's pushing the statutory definition of excavation, so that's excavation. Let's see. That was a small one, so. Let's see. Well, I looked at the right-of-way ordinance resolution you guys passed, and the questions are, it's 30 inches is the depth, so the ones that are short of that, I didn't understand that one was a horizontal distance, so I'll take a look at that one, see if it fits. Probably, and then I'll have to think about the other one, but I would say that there's no detail on cost, so what my plan would be at this point to write them a letter saying, no on 2 of them and 1, we need more information about what we had to do to fix it, because it's broken cable. If, I mean, after you guys, did they replace something and then they came in and fixed it? It's 254th Road.
No,
No, I'm sorry. 10,800. Old Colt.
that one there was just, there was a cut line. It's better than it back in, splice it back together.
Was it fiber?
I think it was, 25 pairs, is that what it said?
25 pair would be a copper pair.
It'd be like five.
Copper, it'd be just copper. That's not fiber. Fiber does not use pairs, it should be copper. So,
Just 24 count buried fiber.
buried fiber, 24 count, and that's an awful small. So it wasn't pairs.
Sounds like it's fiber optic.
Yeah, it was, well, yeah, they didn't use the word pairs in there.
Yeah, all they have for detail on this is says contractor, $15,160.72. So did they, that's what I was thinking about, well, did they have to do something while it was still torn up? Did they wait until you guys were then fixing whatever you were fixing?
No, we had to stop and repair.
You repaired it right away.
You got people that are down about.
So that's, yeah, that's their problem, yes. Yes. Okay. So we didn't have a problem when the stuff was put into place. Is it finished there?
Oh, yeah, it's been done for a while.
So finished project without problem.
Yes.
Well, we need more info on that. That's where I'm at, so.
Okay. You guys have anything else for Scott? No. All right, thank you, appreciate it.
They had a saw they ordered at a road bridge, and it was delivered at Cole's house out of here. Jump saw thing, and FedEx delivered it at Cole's, and it had Broken Bridge's address on it, 2 places, very plain. So I delivered it out there today.
Well, that's nice.
And anyway. Long ways up, Highway 79.
That's what we did.
May I ask some questions since we got a little lull here? Is that possible?
Are you on the agenda?
I am later.
Could you hold off till then? Okay, I appreciate it, thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to see if we could have an executive session for 15 minutes.
I entertain a motion for an executive session.
Or, if you're good with that, we got a few minutes, so get that dude on. Alright. I move that we go into executive session for the purpose of non-elected personnel matters for a period of 15 minutes, starting at 9:38. Turning 15 minutes at that in this office.
Do I hear a second?
Yes. Non-elected personnel, attorney and clerk included in that.
I'll second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded to go into executive session for matters for non-elected personnel, attorney and clerk, 9:38. Reopen for 15 minutes.
For specific purposes, to talk about.
Future employment.
Potential employees.
Potential employee.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed,
Aye.
same sign. Motion carried. Silence.
Is your tax sale closed yet, Todd?
Oh, yeah, actually, I filed the motion to approve the order. So, it's on track. Next thing you'll see is probably the order of sale being published. And I got a coordinated share about the sale.
All right, Joyce, I believe you're up.
May I move this chair up here on the short version?
Certainly.
I need a pillow if I were to sit on that. Walmart doesn't understand that either. Tall shelves and short people don't work well together. Okay. Is this mic on?
No, push the button in front of you.
Okay. Now is it?
Yep.
It should be on. Okay. You might have to pull it closer, Joyce. Okay. I didn't want to make it squeal like over there the other night. That was really hard. As people approach me with questions about this whole solar thing, I often say, I don't know. I've also had some phone calls, probably because of my letter to the editor, but I would like to be able to answer these questions in the future accurately, so I'm hoping you can help me and I will write down some of your answers. Commissioner Pruett,
Yes, ma'am.
you have stated more than once that you only want 2,000 acres devoted to this solar project and no more. NextEra's lawyer in the past said the project would go through if it wasn't 5,000 acres. If they have known for some time that we only want 2,000 acres, why are they still here?
I cannot answer for what NextEra is thinking or what they're wanting, and I've also stated many times in this meeting that if whatever entity comes in cannot fit their business model or business plan into our regulations, then they can go on down the road.
Okay. I'd like to read from the regulations. I've been studying.
Okay, now hang on. There are no regulations yet.
Well,
Okay, Joyce, hang on just a second. I'm going to try to explain this again. There are no regulations yet. We, as a body, have not been given a regulations from the Planning Commission that have passed the Planning Commission to be sent to us to be determined. They can change. They can still go back and change anything that they have in their proposed regulations right now.
so you haven't read these?
I know I've not read those.
Well, I think you should.
Ma'am, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
I do understand what you're saying.
We have not, there is no set of regulations that have been passed by the Planning Commission officially and handed to us.
Go ahead.
Yep.
But it feels,
Joyce,
okay.
just refer to
You're
them.
using my 10 minutes.
This will help. Refer to them as proposed regulation by zoning and planning.
I think that's
I've
interesting.
read them. They are just proposed. Nobody's voted on. They are a proposed
Okay.
regulation. They're a template. So go ahead and ask your question, please. I want to hear it.
So why these changes? You probably, in the beginning, when you were wanting to limit it, you heard only from the big company NextEra, Jeffrey Solar, and owners early on in favor, but
That's not true.
Okay, can I say something? I have never met a NextEra representative other than the gentleman who comes here the other day.
so you haven't heard from the farmers that are leasing?
The NextEra people, you said I've heard from the NextEra people. I have not talked to any of the NextEra
Okay,
people other than the ones that
thank
came
you
to
for
the meeting.
answering that. But you said you wanted to limit the scale, and yet it keeps growing. For instance, just recently, it was extended that it can come as close as 1 mile to the town of Delia when it was originally 3 miles. It couldn't come any closer to Delia than 3 miles. Why was that changed?
Can't answer that, man.
So
there's some
Okay, no, I would like to go on. If you can't answer things, I'll just move on.
I can answer things.
On TV,
yeah.
no, I don't want to hear from him.
Who do you want to hear from me?
On the TV channels from Topeka that carried news coverage of last Thursday's Planning Committee meeting, information that was provided by NextEra stated benefits provided by this project included creation of 1,000 jobs. Now, what kind of jobs would those be and for how long? Would they be jobs for the residents of Jackson County?
I cannot speak for NextEra, man.
I don't know.
You can't answer that.
I cannot speak for NextEra. If you want answers to those questions,
Well-
you need to talk to them.
Will you find out before you vote to pass on what the committee passes to you as recommendations? Will you find out some of these things?
If I have a chance to talk to NextEra people, sure.
If you have, there's an if. These regulations are full of ifs, unless. Yeah, okay. Okay, does the planning committee inform you of any discussions held at their meetings, like minutes of the meetings? Have you heard a report of the meeting from last Thursday? Do you know how many people attended or spoke and how many were for or against?
Is this still directed just to
Whoever will answer.
You go ahead, Commissioner Kelly.
No, I was there for an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes, something like that. Tried to listen the best I could. It was hard.
It was hard.
Again, I was at the edge of the door with my ear there, trying to listen. Well, Matthew there.
Okay, I have a question.
I
Are you going to cut me off at 10 minutes?
You're asking questions that we're trying to respond to.
Okay, I want short answers because I want to finish all my
yes,
questions.
I was there.
Are you hearing from the committee a report of their meeting?
From Kate. Kate gives a report to us on occasion what has been said there. Kate Immenschuh is the head of zoning and planning.
Okay. So we heard that at that meeting, some good suggestions for changes to the regulations that would provide more protection for folks, especially those close to the area we are talking about. So you're going to say you don't know if there are any plans to make changes again in these regulations.
It's not up to us.
At this point, Joyce, they're hearing from the community. That board gets to go back then and either apply those suggestions to the template that they have created. Does that make sense?
Okay, but they're not our elected officials, you are.
This,
It feels like
Joyce,
you're
this
passing the buck.
Joyce, this is the way the process is designed to work. You understand that, correct?
Okay,
And it's a statute.
This goes this way.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, okay, I don't understand why you don't want to hear from our attorney who has the legal statute
Because you are
that
the one
dictates
that
what we
votes.
do.
But you're the one that votes.
And so do they. They get to vote on it. I explained this to you last week, that we send a template over so they have something to build off of, that they can go in and they can change anything in that. They have public hearings, they can change stuff again, so if they don't want 2,000 acres or they want 10 acres, it's up to them to make those changes. And then, if and when they vote on that template, it comes to us. Then we can make changes. Then that can go back to them for their approval.
Do you anticipate that happening, that you will look and suggest changes back and forth?
For sure.
Of course.
Absolutely. And to answer your earlier question, I have read these several times.
Okay, I'm glad to know that. Because you probably noticed the crossing out of site total and the insertion of unless, and all those ifs and unlesses bother me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been asked if there's to be a tax break for this company, as is often offered as an incentive to a company to get them to build or locate in a city or county. My husband was on the city commission for one term, and they talked about giving tax breaks to companies that wanted to build in the city limits. Will there be a tax break?
We don't give anybody tax breaks.
Okay.
The only, just so you understand, the only tax breaks there are in this county are for new construction or revitalization. And those are for 5 years or 7 years, commercial or residential. Okay?
Okay. Now, you asked me out in the hall if I could get the name of some of these companies that have gone belly up and left the landowners.
I asked you about a specific
Okay,
one that you brought up.
so I just did a search because I thought I might recognize.
You used the words, there was a specific company in Texas that your relative, I believe, or friend said was connected to NextEra. I said, if you can verify that, get that information for me.
So I went searching to see if I recognize the name, and it's been a while since I've talked to the graduate from Mayetta. I don't have relatives in Texas. They're just fellow Mayetta graduates. But as I went searching, I found this. it's not all sunshine and rainbows. In the past few years, there's been a mass extinction event of sorts in the U.S. solar industry. This year alone, SunPower and Titan, which in 2023 held on to 4 to 2.5% of the U.S. market respectively, both went bust, and another giant left the business. But that's what I heard from my friend, was that the companies came in and installed these, and then when an event happened, they went belly up, took out bankruptcy, and the county was left with the
And you
holding
used
back.
specific incidents down there, and that's what I was wanting the information for. Thank you.
And the last few minutes, I did a search, and that's what I was trying to find. And so, really concerned that, 17 of the leasees, the landowners that have leased to this company, only 17 of those owners actually live in Jackson County. They're from St. Mary's, Topeka, Rossville, Emmett, Chapel Hill, Tennessee, Bellevue, Kansas, Sun City, Arizona, Lawrence, Seneca, Baileyville.
I'll just state right now, one of the landowners that is opposed to this, that has written letters to the editor also, doesn't live here either. He lives in Topeka. So,
But his plan, his kids
oh,
live,
that doesn't matter. He's not here right now. He lives in Topeka.
his kids live here.
Okay.
So how do you, it's not a requirement to live here to represent your land?
I realize that.
So,
But don't we have to think about the neighbors and the cost of their insurance? And
yeah, absolutely.
so I would beg you to rethink this. It's grown monstrous. And then transmission lines, just too many questions about the future when we don't seem to have, but like I say, big money talks, so,
Well, I'd like to know where the big money is.
Me too.
in the company.
There you go. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else want this chair? Oops.
Sue, very good.
Can I address something since?
That's up to the chair.
What's that?
Well, it just seems to me that this has been unclear for some time about position of next era in the process of creating the regulations. And I don't think it's any secret the fact that you guys asked my predecessor to write the regs, and that he didn't complete that and I did. And that the creative regulations, the potential regulations that were sent to the Planning Commission were ones that I drafted from sources in other counties and in my own experience. I had no input or requests from Next Era at all about the substance of those. And we went through those and we made changes according to what you wanted. That was a product that was sent to them, and at the time it was told to them, to the chairman and to the commission, that as far as we're concerned, they could take those and throw them in the trash and write their own. They could strip everything but the header of the paper and write their own thing. Didn't matter.
But they're not paid. That would take a lot of time. The planning committee,
Right.
they're not paid.
No.
No. How can they take the time away from their jobs and everything to do that much research and everything?
That's their job. When they sign up for
And
and
you're
get
down to
nominated, and
You're down to 6.
are you gonna let me finish?
Go ahead.
Okay. That's their job. When they agree to be on the zoning and planning, there are difficult situations that have to be dealt with. And that's part of the job. That's the way the system works.
And it's required by statute that you cannot pay them.
Right.
It is, the law says you can't pay them except.
There are a lot of people who sit on voluntary boards that make very difficult decisions on a monthly basis for no pay.
Okay, and you're down to 6 now. I noticed Dick Lake wasn't there the other night. Where is he? Did
That's
he
correct. He has resigned due to health issues.
quit? And the 3 others that are no longer on there?
2 others,
Two others.
It's a 9-member board.
and they both resigned. One for personal reasons, and I'm not sure about the other. I don't remember.
I think it was his job, he had to work at night.
Oh, that's right, his job, he had to go to night work, so.
Okay.
There again, it's a volunteer board, man.
I hear you.
You're gonna have people that are not gonna be able to, that are not gonna be able to fulfill the obligations, and they're gonna resign, it's gonna be a floating thing. But the reason that we did not fill the first 2 was because of the fact that trying to get 2 new people up to speed on the regulations that are before them right now was gonna be, a nightmare. So we decided to, you're looking skeptical. Why is that?
I am, because how hard would it be for them to?
Are you volunteering? I'm serious, are you volunteering?
How hard would it, go ahead and finish your comment, please. How hard would it be to what?
When I spent time reading this and asking questions, how hard would it be for the other members of the board, whatever their views are, to help get them up to speed?
The Joyce,
And no, I'm not volunteering.
okay,
A
that was just a sarcastic remark, Joyce.
great question,
You
but
just, hang on, Keith, I'm gonna say something. You just stated a few minutes ago that going through these regulations and how hard it is and why isn't the board paid and so on and so forth, and then you just said when I brought up the fact that some of the members of the planning commission said, let's keep people off right now until we get through this, don't add any new ones because it's too hard to bring people up to speed. And you just sat there and said, how hard is it? When before you said, you're researching, going through these, and it's troubling when people aren't being paid to do this for their research. It's time consuming. Which is it? I don't understand.
And I wouldn't get on for health reasons also. I'm a cancer
Okay.
survivor, I've got all kinds of things
Sure.
going on.
I said that was a sarcastic remark, Joyce.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. So, do you have any other comments?
No.
Okay, Todd, you want to go ahead and finish?
Well, I think that was the majority of it, but otherwise to be clear, that the 2,000 acres that was put into the regulations was one that was specifically chosen by this commission, as I recall, championed by the chair, as I recall, and whether or not, now it's within the power of the planning commission to make changes, and that would include to that. I did not see where they had actually changed that. You could certainly interpret any legal language as giving an escape clause, but I'm assuming that you will address that if and when that is placed. So,
Yep.
if there's any other questions, I just wanted to say that.
thanks.
Okay. Is Sue here? Is she coming? Do you know, Kate? Sue the clinic? Have you heard from her? Okay.
I'll check outside the door just in case. Oh. Bye.
I don't see anybody else.
Then we'll skip over her. Kate, you're up.
So can I bring up Joe to Kate?
You're welcome.
So,
Bring that chair back up.
we said about building permits is what Sue McLean was coming in from. So I had a phone call about your letter, and their building was on skids that they moved from place to place, and the cows are calving. And they have always bought a building permit for everything, but had no idea that if it was a movable building, that it had to have a building permit. And they said that he was told because it was the size of it.
So here's the challenge.
Okay,
The challenge is, in the past, if a building is on skids, that we always have recommended, please call us to see if you need a building permit, because they have not been put on the properties. Notes have been made about the buildings they call on, size and all that, and a note has been put on. I have called Shawnee County. They put all buildings on real estate. The problem with portable buildings is they technically need to be on personal property, assessed at 30%. The buildings that have been put on for decades as portable buildings have not been picked up on personal property or real estate, just a no fee. So when this all comes about, and we don't see what's on skids, what's not on skids, and we have a 350 square foot, because anything larger than that, you're gonna need some machinery or a tractor or something to move that building, right? If they don't have a property that is an ag property, they don't have large tractors, if it's over 350 square feet, we're putting it on. So the problem becomes, if building permits aren't generated for those buildings and people just end up deciding themselves what is portable or what's ag without us determining what is portable and ag, therein lies the issue. So technically, everything should have a building permit. Technically, all of those portable buildings should be put on personal property, which would be assessed higher. So really, it benefits everybody to put it on the real estate, either assessed at 11.5% or at 25% for an ag building. So decades long of having all of these little buildings, or sometimes big buildings, that people have called and claimed that they were portable, and we're talking 30 by 30 buildings, just because they were built on skids, they say that they're not taxable. And they're telling us that they're not taxable.
But they are.
But they are. One way or another, they should be.
So tell me why notes are just being made and they're not being put on personal property.
Because we have a decades-long, more decades than that decision being made that if it's on skids, it's going to be portable, and there's just going to be a note on it.
Who's making that decision?
Appraisers before me.
So then years ago, if anybody would ask in our office if they were on skids, there was no tax on it. You didn't have to have a building permit. I mean, we would have told them that.
So there's a big decision and a big shift that would have to be made. That, okay, from now on, they're all just going on. And we're gonna have to find those. It's probably gonna be a 6-year process as we're doing the 17% to add all these buildings back on. Because the massive amount of work to go through almost 10,000 parcels to find all those portable buildings is unrealistic for a 4-person office.
So I guess what I'm asking is, like that piece of paper that we're gonna put in the tax statements, can we add something to that that talks about the portable buildings, that they do have to have a building permit, no matter what?
On the sheet that's gonna go on the
On a
tax
sheet that's
statements.
gonna go out with the tax statements, because I don't think people understand it. I think that's
So I mean,
probably,
well, I would agree with you there, because, we bought one of those out there on trails, put it up for a chicken house, it's on skids, so, no, I didn't know that.
so, I just think people need to know. We
So,
need to educate.
so the reason why all these people that have put up portable buildings, or what they're saying is portable, we have had calls. Do we need a building permit if we're putting up a 12 by 12 shed, portable shed? We say no. Call us when you're getting ready to do that. We put a note on there with the square footage. So when we're out for the 17%, or the county that we're inspecting that year, that we have that note, and we know that it's portable, and we can see that it's portable.
That's fine.
So with this overhead equal view thing and the letter going out, we can't see that it's on skids. We just see that it's a new building. So a letter goes out to all of those people that have something new going on. When they call and say, this is portable, well, we can measure and we can get an idea if it's under the 350 square feet at this time. What's probably most likely going to happen is we're either going to have to put it on personal property or just put it on real estate. So there is absolutely no confusion from this point on.
Just one way or the other.
One way or the
Make a
other.
determination. Okay.
Because notes aren't getting put on, and the reason for everything needing a building permit, even if it is portable, and even if we're not assessing value on it, we still need to have some sort of record that somebody called in, it is portable, and we have it accounted for.
What's the definitions for those kind of things? Building permits are about, talk about structures. Right? I don't really recall ever the kind of meeting point being that had to be on a foundation or had to be attached.
Right.
So you're kind of, understanding that probably distinguishing between the two is a tough thing. I guess you've made basically a practice of the fact that if it's a structure that's not attached to the ground.
Structure that is not attached to the ground is considered personal property and needs to be assessed as such.
Yeah.
So there are several issues with that and our valuing.
Yes, but is the
Correct.
distinction that you would have to have a building permit for a structure, but having a building permit is not always equate to the fact that it's taxable as a real estate. Like,
Right.
it still could be personal property, but they have to
Sure.
have it, inspected for whatever purpose, plumbing or whatever,
No, it's
trades, but walls.
So anything under 350 foot or under is exempt.
Has been the practice that we are not picking it up, either personal property or real estate at this time.
At this time, is there an anticipation that we're going to change that, or?
Considering there's so much confusion going on with this, and it's really hard to track these buildings that people are determining themselves without calling and talking with us, they're just going up. So how do we control that? That's the challenge.
Well, I guess from day one, when you found out that you had these things going on, I don't understand why the note was just continued, and you were just continuing to put a note on it. Why, when you realized that these buildings, for whatever reason, were portable or not portable, why we weren't making contact from day one? Why have we continued to practice if we know that that's not the right?
Personnel, lack of personnel to get all of these buildings on.
No. I'm not talking about in the past. I'm talking about if somebody calls in today,
Right?
why wouldn't we say, look, it's required, and here's what you need to do, and here's where it's going to go. Well,
Because it didn't become an issue until this letter went out, and then we're discovering that a lot of these buildings are portable. So having a dozen or so call each year saying, I'm putting in a 12 by 12 shed. It's going to be on skids. That's not ever really an issue we put a note on. But when people are self-determining this and doing it without calling or a permit, therein lies the issue.
what's the solution?
I don't know yet what the solution is to that. Because I'm going to have to use Orion to value these buildings and then take them off. With manufactured homes, I have a do not post option which values that manufactured home and keeps it on there so that value is retained year after year. I don't have that option for portable buildings. I don't have an option of do not post so it maintains that value each year and depreciates out each year. That would have to be I enter that building in each year to get a value on it, and then I have to take it off. If I do it on personal property, which is what it technically should be. Or I put it on real estate, and that's we pick it up in our every 6 year run, or 17%. So it's just determining how we're gonna do that. So,
And is this, so there's no statute that says it must be done this way, it's kind of left up to each individual county, is that?
there is nothing specific saying a square footage amount and portability, other than we know that if it's not attached to the ground, it would be considered personal property. Shawnee County is putting them on all as real estate, regardless if they're on skids or not.
So when you're saying attached to the ground, and I'm just trying to get this wrapped around for my situation, I staked it down and tied it down so it's not going to blow away. So it's, all I have to do is undo 3 bolts and, move it wherever, which has never moved since I put it in. But
Right.
so is that considered to the ground then? Is that for that purpose? I mean, I'm just trying to get that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's a challenge in trying to think of
Yeah.
every possible scenario.
So my suggestion would be that we start to look into increasing the square footage and then making everything what Shawnee County is doing, because that's the lowest amount. You follow me?
Yeah.
So, no?
Increasing
Okay,
the square
so,
footage on what?
so right now it's 350 feet.
Square feet.
So did you determine that, or is it written somewhere?
It has been, no, it's not written anywhere, and that's the challenge. It's not written in any statute, it's not written in any PVD guide, it's not written anywhere.
So if the general public goes to look it up, how do they know that?
How do they know that? They call the office. That
Where
is
did you get that from?
from what I was taught when I started.
So
That
that's
practice
job
when
number
I
one,
started.
that we create something in the regulations stating that number. And what I'm saying is we increase that exemption from 350 square feet to a larger number,
Why?
because I believe there's no sense in quabbling over a 20 by 20 chicken house and determining a value.
So
So I'd like to look at other counties, what other counties are doing. I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel.
that's going to be some research that I do not have time for at this moment. We could be talking about this in a couple of years even.
Oh, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I said, and here's my thinking on part of this is that I always go back to what the statute says. I mean, I don't think the statute doesn't give us any granular detail on saying at this point it stops being personal property and now it's real property. Right? It stops being just a movable object and it starts being a piece of real estate, right? And the only thing that we could probably do is we probably have a bunch of tax appeals records that maybe hash that out. I don't know. That's what I'm saying is that if the statutes don't have that standard in them,
Correct.
that everybody can follow,
Correct.
then you guys are in charge of making the standards for the county.
Right.
Not when it comes to valuing.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about is it personal or
Determining whether it's real estate or personal. And to give you, like I said, personal property, it would go on as other at 30% assessment rate versus 11.5 or 25% assessment rate.
Okay.
If it goes on as personal property, getting those buildings valued would be a monumental task.
And I'm trying to simplify this by not making it personal property. And so we can
not
create,
valuing it at all.
we can create, I didn't say that, we can create, we can change and put into the regulation exactly what square footage becomes real estate, or a fixed building, whether it's on skids or not, valued at 11.5%, and just be done with it.
and that's why I'm
And
asking about
simplify
the
the
statute.
process.
If the statute doesn't say anything, then you're in control of all that process.
Correct. And I think it needs to be increased because I'll give you an example. What about storage containers? People are buying storage containers left and
They
right.
should be picked up as personal property and PBD is working on a way to value those. I think they've got something in to value those now, so we can start picking up.
And the simpler way to do this is if they're over a certain square footage and they're sitting on the ground or on skids, we value it at the lower amount. At least we're getting something out of it versus nothing out of it, right? Because right now, all these notes have just been put in over the last 25, 30 years, and we're not valuing these buildings that are 30 by 30, like you said.
No, we are.
How are you doing that? You said
We're putting them on real estate. Because at a certain size, so that 350 square feet, not able to be moved without a tractor or some large equipment.
I think we need to define these things.
I think they probably all end up needing to go on. And I can talk with PBD about that,
Who's PBD?
Property Valuation Division,
Thank you.
Department of Revenue.
Okay.
That's good. Great place to start.
But it's not really in writing anywhere right now. I mean, if
That's the
somebody
problem.
sent a letter out and told them that they needed a building permit, and if they didn't have it by the end of December, they'd get a penalty. So,
But all buildings require a building permit above 350 square feet.
They should all require a building permit, period.
I guess I would disagree with you because
Whether we charge a fee for it or not, ag buildings will get a building permit, we don't charge a fee for it.
right, no, I understand that.
then we need to educate people.
And there's a difference, I'm still with Kate on that, because there's a difference between how it's constructed for the purposes of regulating a building code aspect versus what's heat value. We still want to have it, it built solidly and not be glass. Right? Or maybe we don't care.
I mean, I can understand you want to know, especially after flyover, you have the pictures, why that building's there or that it's on skids or what. I get that, but I just think we need to educate people. Nobody knows.
That's fine. I think once that decision needs to be made about if we're gonna have a square foot limit, if we're gonna have all of these, yes, a letter can go out in the valuation notices saying what's gonna happen as of whatever date we decide that to happen.
Yeah, I think we need to make some decisions and put them in writing so that the general public, if they're looking up this information on our website, they have access to find it without calling you. And even if you hire a new employee and you say, go find this somewhere, they have no ability of finding it anywhere. I would think it needs to be in writing somewhere as and voted on by this board. And so I think we need to figure out what that square footage is, what we're going to value it at, and then try to simplify this so that you're not having to do 10,000 of these or whatever the number was. Let's simplify it and make it simpler for the general public to understand. I think sometimes government can make things so complicated that part of the community says, to heck with it, I'll suffer the consequences if somebody catches me, or it's too difficult to figure it out. And so I think for us to be able to figure out a way to simplify this and would benefit everybody, and then as Linda said, then let's send some information out to everybody so that they're educated on what that really requires and try to stem future problems of people not getting building permits. Because at the end of the day, everybody needs to share in the process of paying property taxes across the county. We all agree with that, right? I mean, and so I think there's a way to probably simplify this.
And there
And
again,
I'm not asking you to look up the information. I think Todd can work on this, but if you have some information and suggestions,
I'll talk to PBD. Like I said, I've already talked to Shawnee County and haven't had the time to talk to Jefferson or any of the other surrounding counties on how they deal with portable buildings and valuing them. And if they have a square foot and where they have that like written somewhere about their square footage. So that is not going to happen soon.
well, like I say, in my case, I had a building moved in, so I didn't need a building permit, correct? Because it was a move in, drop off the truck, and set it in place.
So in my opinion, people need to get a building permit. One, so we're aware if it is portable and how we're gonna deal with the portability of it, whatever, and valuing it.
Okay.
We still need to have some sort of record
Yes.
that happens.
And there again, where I was going with that is, from everything that I had ever heard, ever been told,
And
it was
that's,
portable, so it was tax exempt, and so
that's your
that's,
problem too. So
yeah.
like I said, you have decades of different appraisers saying different things and telling people, and then
Yep.
the rest of the community spreading that information out there.
Yep.
Like I said, if we get a dozen calls on portable buildings, well, more than a dozen are going up.
right.
So people are sharing information, and maybe they're not sharing all of the correct information.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I'm saying it's always important that people call us for some sort of guidance on that, because essentially we are the ones that have to
Sure.
make note.
So that's the education part, because like I said, I was misinformed a long time ago.
Exactly, like I
Yeah.
say, we always told people.
But I would rather, if people are gonna call you, I would rather have something that any employee can look up and find it definitively,
Absolutely.
as opposed to, well, it's my opinion, or I've been told, or that's the practice. I don't want that,
I agree.
because it's just not the way to do business. And I think we need to put those things in writing so that the general public can easily find those things and then move ahead from there. I think we need to up the square footage, and I think we need to take these portable buildings and put them at the lowest so that there's no question. Because if somebody figures out that, oh, crap, they're supposed to be on personal property, and that's 30%, I'd rather have it on as a fixed building, the same as a house or anything
It
else.
has to be one way or the other. There can't
That's
be
what I'm
any
saying.
mixed messaging on this.
That's exactly
So-
what I'm saying.
I kind of agree with Shawnee County's version of we're just gonna put them on. Now, the quality may be lesser because it is portable and it's gonna be shifting, but there again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be
Let's just make it
simplified.
termination one way or another, what we're gonna do.
And at the end of the day, if somebody wants to build a shack, we don't inspect. If they want to build it, the first little breeze that comes along and blows it down, okay, they're entitled to do that. I mean, they can build it out of
Absolutely.
grass and mud, I don't care.
But that,
Waddling dog.
that permitting process, when they give us an estimated cost on what it's gonna cost to build. And I have an idea of what certain buildings take to build, and they're spending a lot less than that, and it's portable. Well, that helps with the valuing part on what kind of quality that building is. Does that make sense?
Right? Yeah, I mean, you're taking, what if they fill that out and they say a 30 by 30 shed's gonna cost me $1,000. You're taking that, correct? You should, because the reason I say you should
Yes.
is
But we-
because I know a lot of people who have gone out and salvaged lumber, and they have a whole bunch of used lumber that they're gonna build this project with. So I guess it's our responsibility at this point, I mean, to take their word that if a 30 by 30 is gonna cost $1,000, okay. Well, we do it upstairs. Linda used to do it. When somebody come in with a car or a truck, they're taking their word that the value of that, if they put on their $1,500 and they look at it, they may go, boy, that's a pretty good deal. Well, maybe. Or it may be a wreck. You know, it may be a junk car, even though it's a newer car. See what I'm saying? I mean, we take that value when it comes to automobiles.
We are taking that value when we're doing the fee part of it. Yes.
But not when we appraise it.
That's a huge discussion. I am not even kidding. Like, do you have all day for me to
No,
discuss that?
that's my question, is that if somebody puts on a building permit, that I built it for $1,000, then you're saying, then it becomes, what is it appraised at, and what could they sell that building for? But I don't know how we, would ever do that without inspecting each building.
That's how we do it.
Because the analysis that I get to do is how much buildings are costing as they're being built. So I take into account if something is reclaimed lumber, or used materials, or they tore down a building and they're using the same material and then now it's just smaller.
If they give you that information.
That's what we try and ask them when they come in for a building permit. That's part of the whole process too.
So how do we simplify it? How do we get more people to buy into it? I believe there's a way to do that so that they're being educated. We send out notices of explanation with the taxes. I think that's a great idea, Linda, that we can get those mailed out. And it's just informing the public when it comes to this particular issue, because this is probably one of the bigger ones that we have, is people getting building permits on ag-related or any kind of building, right?
Yes.
So let's figure out a way to make it a better process, easier for the public, and inform them of what that is, and then move forward from there.
Right.
I'm not looking for you guys to have to go back and go over 10,000. That's impossible.
We can do it in a matter of 6 years. But
I
it's
understand
a process.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I think there's a simpler solution and a better solution for the general public and the taxpayers. And for your office. It gets them on the tax roll, it defines what they are, and we don't have this rumor of, if you put skids under it, you don't have to pay taxes on it, so.
Well, it's all about being fair as well.
Sure.
If you have somebody building a 30 by 30 building that they're not getting taxed on. I'm not saying that that's the case now. That has been the case. They're not getting taxed on it.
Right.
That's, the quality may be less than somebody that it's like on real estate, on a foundation.
I get it.
So it's all about being fair as well.
Yeah.
It is.
I have a lot more than just this to discuss.
Can you step back and we'll get Mr. Rice up and then we'll get you back up here?
You get 10 minutes, is that right?
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't get 10 minutes. I might step back up too. A couple questions / concerns. First one, I'll follow up with you. Did you earlier say you did not read the proposed zoning regulations?
No, I did.
I thought he said it.
Well, I said that I wrote them, so of course I read them.
I'm talking about the proposed
The
changes.
changes, I only looked at one change so far, which was the 2000 acres.
I just want to get on record.
Yeah, at this point,
I'll get there. Question. When do you propose they will be done over there? I know that's hypothetical. Propose so that it'll come over here so you guys can vote on it. Do you have any idea when that's done? A week, a year, a month?
I would hope in the next few months that they would have their process done. But
We've said from the beginning that once we pass the template over to them,
Sure. It's in there. It's in there.
I mean, it could be 2 years, 3 years, it doesn't matter.
I get that. I was just curious.
Yes. I mean, I'm hearing all these rumors
I
about,
can't watch the thing every month, week to see when it's going to come over here.
there's no timeline. I'm hearing all these rumors that they want to get
I
started.
think you'll know from meeting to meeting, what they announce, so I would pay attention to what comes out of there. And they'll announce, okay, I would believe that they're gonna, after the second meeting, at their next regular meeting,
Sure.
they would announce that we're gonna work on them some more, we're gonna take some suggestions, or they're gonna postpone it, or they're gonna vote on it. That's a question for zoning and planning chair or vice chair.
Sure. And I can call and ask. Thank you.
Yeah, good question.
Kind of leads to another similar question. I would be interested to know when we're going to come up with final locations / their distribution lines. And I understand that's probably down the road, but that's a big thing.
So,
Go ahead, it's unknown.
yeah, it is.
I understand that. I'm just trying to have a dialogue here.
Sure.
Open dialogue. That's all I'm doing.
So it is unknown because once those regulations, hypothetically, if they were passed and it was 2,000 acres, say they were completely passed, then if Next era came in here and said, okay, I'm applying for it. So they're gonna have to figure out where would that 2,000 acres fit. And I'm guessing that's how they're gonna move ahead with their process, but I really don't know.
A lot of these rumors get started because there's people that have been approached by them, and then stuff leaks out there, and people find out, and then it's misleading because we don't have the information, but we're not there yet. I understand that.
And as far as where, I'll state as far as where, the template that we sent over, number one, there can be no supplemental application until there is a transmission agreement between whatever entity it is and the transmission line closest, which is Jeffers. They cannot even apply for a supplemental.
And I can't tell you where the transmission line would be because that would all dictate location.
Correct.
I do know there's a large chunk of ground north of 158 that they've talked, that I think they have it under lease. It would be way more.
I just don't like when the rumors come around because then we get all skewed and it's all off the beaten path, and it's nice to have information, facts.
I understand the general public's frustration with not having answers to that. People want to know definitively where's it going to go, what's it going to do, all those types of things. I get that. I really do. I listened to that the other night when I was over there.
It's really disturbing.
And we just, I don't have the ability to answer that yet, but I think we can dial.
I appreciate how you read them. How you say, and I'm going to take your word on that. He says he looked at them, and he says he'll won't read them until they get here. We're all reading them, we're trying to figure this out, and it's just disturbing.
But that's part of the problem for me. I don't want to look at a set that we have right now that is proposed,
Sure.
that they can still make changes to. Why am I going to do that? When they send them over to me, then I will go through them with a fine-tooth comb and see what I believe that, needs to be changed from there, and then send them back if it's agreeable with the other two.
And I get that, but when your constituents are concerned and they're reading that, maybe that should be, you guys should be concerned and read more because we are.
I am concerned.
I'm concerned about it, but people don't believe that I am.
People will say what they want, they can write what they want.
I'm concerned about it. I have some concerns.
I get that,
But here's the thing I don't do. I don't get on Facebook and voice my concerns because Facebook is not the place to have that. Between me and you, in here, that's the place to have that. And so there are ways for me to voice my concern, and there are ways for me to just sit and be patient and wait.
Sure.
And I would anticipate that possibly this board would vote once we get them and we make changes to them, they go back to the zoning and planning, they either disapprove our changes or they approve them and send them back. I would love then to have more meetings between this board and the community to say, okay,
more better. More dialogue, more conversation. All right. Thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
good question.
All right, Kate.
I just sit here, everybody hear me? Do I need the microphone?
I can bring it over to. Yeah, there you go.
Fine.
I may turn this just a little bit more so that it doesn't get some feedback.
Okay, so, member of J6 called last week before last, about a commercial feed lot.
One of their owners, like Kramer.
Yes.
Okay.
Wanted to know if he would be eligible for the commercial neighborhood revitalization. It's a commercial feed lot. I mean, this is unique, right?
Kind of pushing it, isn't it?
I don't know,
Are
but
they selling at that location? Like go up there and get a set of meat?
no, a commercial feedlot would be, they're gonna bring in
4,500.
4,500 head of calves,
Yeah.
they're gonna finish those. If they're building that feedlot there, the infrastructure of that feedlot would be, and it creates,
Okay, it seems industrial. I mean, if you're not selling
It's
something.
commercial industrial.
Commercial industrial, but I would look at the definitions that we have in place, that you have. And it doesn't really say that in there, does it, or it doesn't disprove it?
There isn't anything that is clearly,
Well, when I hear neighborhood revitalization commercial, I think strip malls, it's old main streets that are getting down on the heels, and you get a business, you get a hair salon, you get a restaurant.
For commercial, yes.
Yeah,
that-
you
that
don't
would be
get,
my
you don't
opinion
get
on
a commercial finishing fee lot.
But if a Walmart distribution said they were gonna come in and build, would you give it to them?
Not unless they're sold out that they had a, a store on it, maybe, but they don't. That's just general.
Yeah.
Concept here.
What,
that.
what,
I'm
you
gonna
got,
think on that.
do you have the regs there of what's defined?
I printed them off and I didn't bring them.
That's okay, that's all right. I can.
We can get it, I'm
They're
never,
online.
yeah. I'm never think about that.
Or they're in the book.
So what do you think?
I don't know.
I was just curious.
I don't. That's why.
That's an interesting,
How much would, I guess, answer this question, let's look at it. If they build this commercial feedlot, how much is that gonna increase the value of that facility?
No idea. No idea because it's going to have to be valued by a commercial feedlot guide. So I have no idea.
What do they do in other counties? I mean, Western Kansas is full of these.
It would be the commercial feedlot guide. So
Right, and so that, in
are
other
you talking
counties,
about like whether they're doing neighborhood revitalization on these or
Yeah.
not?
or are they valuing, I mean, in Tribune County, and they've got a ton of these, are they valuing them as a commercial feedlot, and does that increase that greater than if it was just a farmer doing it? That's my
Yes.
question. Okay.
Yes.
Is it generating, it will generate more revenue for the county because it's a commercial facility. Are they hiring more employees? That's one of the things we look at. Are they hiring employees, bringing in employees into this county to operate this feedlot? I would think so. I mean, so if it's to me, it's a small business that's trying to generate more revenue for their company, but they're also generating more revenue for the county because we're going to get to appraise it at the.
That's why I'm giving this to you all, because this neighborhood revitalization is something that you all adopted. I'm just trying to enforce it.
Okay,
So-
so what I would need then, sorry to interrupt you, what I would need is some research done on what other counties are valuing that. And my initial gut is, yeah, they would qualify for revitalization over the 7-year period. That's my gut feeling.
There's probably some in Avon County, isn't there?
I'm sure
Commercial
every
feedlots.
county probably has a commercial feedlot. I'll reach out and see if anybody is willing to
They have revitalization.
tell me.
In Western Kansas, those facilities bring in,
They're
Lots
gonna
of
be
revenue.
commercial feedlots.
Huh?
That's not the question. The question to them will be is, have you ever had a commercial feedlot participate in neighborhood revitalization?
Yep.
Well-
That's really the question.
no, for me, it's what is it valued at? And what is it generating?
You're asking me to value something that isn't even there yet.
But you
They're anticipating $4.5 to $5 million. That's
facility.
what they're anticipating.
So at the
Whether
end,
that's how it values is different.
so whatever they fill out on that building permit, right, they're gonna ask for a building permit. They're gonna put a value on that. And at the end of 7 years or day one, we're going to be able to value that facility and charge them property tax based on that value, correct?
Not based on what they put on the building permit, but how it values out with the commercial feedlot guy.
Okay.
so, okay.
So
that's
it's
that's
an
the question.
impossible thing for me to say, this is what it's potentially gonna bring in when I have no idea even what kind of buildings or
That's,
feed mills or anything that they're bringing in.
That's
They're
right, where
asking
it's
me for an impossible.
are they actually going to put buildings up? Or are
Yes.
they are going to put buildings up?
So just ask them. Do you have a set of blueprints yet? All I'm saying is if I were in your seat, I would be calling some of the local feedlots or Western Kansas feedlots and saying, look, how many head of cattle do you run through Around 3,500, okay. Then you talk to the county, and what do they appraise that at?
That's not a problem. When I have time to get to
What is
that
the
kind of
problem?
reason.
That's what I'm trying to get to, and I don't mean to.
Whether you guys want to consider it for neighborhood revitalization.
Okay, I can easily answer that for me,
That's,
yes,
that's what,
yes,
that's what
I
we
would
need
want
now.
to. I think it would qualify.
So it's just
I
a
want to read through,
discussion.
the regs before I make a decision. That's what I say, I want to go through those a little bit and determine, so I'd like to table this until next week.
Great. I believe that it has the potential to bring jobs in, so why wouldn't you? And it's gonna bring additional revenue, just like any other brick and mortar business that's gonna have 30, 50 employees or whatever it is, just because they're not selling something out the door, doesn't mean that it isn't a commercial business.
And I would like to know also something that you mentioned, if you're going to put a feed mill up there, how many buildings you're going to put up, what type of buildings you're going to put up, just going to be, holes with roof, rather than a building. I think there's a lot of unanswered questions here that we need to look into.
There
before we make a
were
decision.
2 mentions of large slab
Okay,
for feeding,
right,
and then a large building for, mechanic work and all of that for the
that
lot.
worker,
Yeah, like a shop,
Yeah.
large shop for that. They didn't mention anything about the mills or any of that, which their other one down the road, they don't have a
they're
mill.
trucking old feed.
Right.
Okay. Like I said, I'm
What location is this?
On E Road between 182nd and 198, on the east side.
Yeah, I'd like to table this until I go over the revitalization just a little bit, try to digest this, because I don't know, I'm still kind of up in the air about which way to go on it.
And to note that this is also statutory. The Neighborhood Revitalization Act itself is under KSA 12-17, 114.
Say that one again.
Yeah, it's KSA 12-17, 114. It's at SEC, looks like it goes all the way to what? 12-17, 15 and 5.
Okay.
And that's the state statute that deals with revitalization, because they're not getting their money either.
Well, I think it basically says, you guys, this is how the broad strokes of it are. You set up a program, this is what it contains. It goes into that fund, whatever. I was looking for it to see if it had a specific commercial, residential designation. So that we kind of, that was more, but it doesn't. I think it's going to be in your guys' regulations that pass control.
Say that one more time.
It's going to be your guys' program, right? You guys set up.
We did.
Yeah, okay. So whatever that says, if it goes, for the most part. I don't know if the statutes are going to have that kind of granular distinction of what we're talking about here.
But I don't think the revitalization statute states feedlots in particular.
Well, but it does say, you're talking about rehabbing dilapidated areas that are run down.
Or new construction. They are, it is.
Okay.
That was
So
one of the things that they wanted in it. Dan Brenner said right here, I want new construction in there, both inside the city limits and outside the city limits.
Well,
Especially for commercial. Not especially, but for commercial.
this is not, my statement is you guys created a program that's going to be primary. And it also has to be in accordance with the statutes too. So you guys, if we're going to follow those, we're going to take a look. But I don't know if you are.
And say to that. All right, what's the statute? Go ahead.
KSA 12-17, 114.
Okay. And that's, okay, I'll look at it. Kate, one other question.
So the meeting on Thursday, I think there was a capacity issue, and I want to talk to you about the community building and what kind of capacity that building has, how many chairs are available out there, and if people are standing, are they going to be standing outside? So there are just issues. We had 80 chairs out. What I could see inside the room there, Memorial Hall, was 53 standing. There were a lot of people in the hall, people sitting down that I couldn't see and trying to do the time clock and all that as well. So anticipating 150. So do we have more chairs to set out here?
I don't think having it in Memorial Hall is a good idea with anticipating as many people. Couple of reasons. The acoustics in there are horrible, and I think a larger venue would be easier for people to get in, easier for people to hear. The question is, how do we get there? Because we've already stated this, would it have to be pushed back an additional week to get the advertising in so that people would know? And what did your vice chair
An
say?
additional,
What was their opinion on moving the meeting?
that if there's not enough capacity in the community building, I mean, we're gonna have to look into other venues. So we don't want people necessarily standing outside that can't hear at all.
Understood. Yeah, so again, what was the vice chair's or the zoning and planning committee's thoughts on where to move it to? Because it's their decision. If they don't have
So it was the community building.
out of
Yes, there was an issue too. Why do we move it out of the community building if it's probably gonna be worse? Here, the courthouse, at least people are standing inside in the halls and probably sometimes hear it where they won't even be able to get in or going to be standing outside.
So question number one is we need to know what the capacity is of band like.
So I was told 144 chairs.
At
I don't know what the capacity is.
You have 144 chairs out there. I think the capacity was 180 or something like that, I believe.
So
Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what we were told, something around 180.
144 chairs.
144 chairs. Okay. So if that's not large enough, what's the next largest place?
What is the next largest place that we can do it?
I
That
don't
we
know.
can
This
actually-
fair
Can
building
we
is.
get for free? Or are we going to have to pay for it?
No, look, pay for it. Either way.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if we got to pay for it, in order to get people in so that they feel comfortable and they can have a place to sit and hear and be comfortable, we would just pay for it. So what would be the next
Whose
largest
budget
place?
is that coming out of?
We'll take care of it.
We'll worry about that.
Yeah.
So if I have to publish it in the paper so everyone is aware, I'm gonna need 20 days to do that. So, what, we cancel this meeting on the 2nd? Because I don't have enough time?
Again, I want to know what was the vice chair's thoughts and the committee's thoughts?
That we would have it in the community building.
Did they have
That we
any
would
other
turn it to-
thoughts on canceling or what
No,
they wanted to do?
no. Half of them left before I even got a chance to say goodbye, so there hasn't been a discussion on where we move this to, other than the community building.
Has there been a published notice talking about the
Yes, for the 2nd,
fifth? Second.
it's
Uh-huh.
Thursday.
There's been a published notice that says where it's at.
I don't know what the fairgrounds ability is.
The other thing is to set up a Zoom.
Is the courtroom any better?
Oh, I don't think
No.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely smaller.
So we can announce to have it in the community building, and we'll give that a shot and see.
Does the notice say where it's at though? Paper.
It was gonna be in the courthouse, or adjourn to the community building.
Okay, so
Now,
if that was in there like that,
yes,
then I would start putting that out here, get Ally to put a big
Does that-
article on the front page, put notes on all the doors, moved out to Adder Lake Community Building, I think.
Is that enough legal notice? I don't want to be accused of moving it and people not being able to see it.
The only thing you have to do is, you have to, I mean, really, the technical detail is that you can only adjourn the meeting when the meeting's in place.
We have to bring everybody here, open the meeting, adjourn the meeting, and move.
Adjourn the meeting.
Did you want to do that?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Just curious. I know you were there. You said you were going to the next one.
Yes, I-
Would it bother you if they open the meeting and then adjourn the meeting stating the reason and everybody's got to get in their car and drive?
and I question if there's enough parking out there.
that was
But
my
would
question
you
too.
mind moving?
I think, I would follow wherever because I feel that strong about it, but
Okay.
I think a lot of people, especially, I mean, I knew several ladies that came barely, and to get in the car and get out there again, I think you would inconvenience a lot of folk that plan to be there this Thursday.
I think that there's a parking issue. I think there's an accessibility issue with the parking and the gravel and that.
Okay.
So-
What about the Holton High School gym?
You'd have to contact them, and
Jackson
find out.
Heights.
Jackson High School has the chair or the auditorium or the gym, one, you'd have to contact them to find out what seating is in the auditorium, if it's available. Thursday night, volleyball.
Because I don't think,
I mean, that's where you're running into problems with the schools right now, is that.
for sure, I'm just throwing
Yeah.
things out there. Those are the bigger venues that we have around the community. The fair building itself, and your vice chair, not your vice chair, but Luke Kennedy would know this. He's on the board for the fair board, or he used to be. The other place out there would be to have it in the livestock arena with stadium seating. They have all those stadium seatings. It's not freezing cold. It's not super hot. They have capacity there. You'd have to ask him though what kind of ability they have to see people. I don't know. I'm using these as examples, throwing them out there.
And again, the accessibility for people.
For sure.
Yeah, out there is gravel and long walks and.
I mean, the only reason, I mean, isn't it, this is important if you're actually gonna make a decision on the regs and send it up to you.
The other thing that we could do is we could try to find more chairs, put them out here in the foyer area, and buy an additional speaker that's wireless, somehow plug it in so we have speaker. That's the biggest problem. I don't think people minded being out in the hall, it's just they couldn't hear. And so if we had some sort of additional speaker that was out here,
Chairs back in the room, like that.
I don't think people even minded standing. Necessarily.
Chairs back there.
There's different options. You know,
The problem was that people out in the hall got so loud talking, and some of them were talking to the two officers sitting here, and they were laughing, and so, yeah, it was,
And kids
Distracting.
were running and screaming, and I get that. It's hard when you have to bring your kids, and it's tough. But just throwing out some solutions, I would, I guess, reach out to your vice chair and see what he wants to do.
Weimer or Kennedy?
Is it
Kennedy is
Weimer your
not-
vice chair?
No, that hasn't been voted on.
Who is your vice chair?
Weimer is our vice chair.
That's what I just said.
Oh.
They're okay, I'm just looking at the calendar
Vice
for Holton, there is nothing, there's no volleyball, anything like that, so if you wanna reach out to them for that, whatever. 6-1 haven't done yet. We're having to play
So
parking
for this-
accessibility.
For this Thursday and getting something scheduled for this Thursday.
Yeah.
Again,
What I'm
you'd have
saying is I
to-
just looked at the calendar, there's nothing scheduled up there.
You would have to start the meeting, make the announcement that there's not enough room, and you're moving to the Holton gym, it's already been set up, and then adjourn. That's an option.
That's all I was looking at, for an option.
then after that, it's all republication, which is only really a hardship if you're going to approve, that night, right? Because they're going to, if they do anything but recommend approval, they're going to have another meeting.
Correct.
So,
But again, don't want the public to think that we're trying to
yeah, it's
switch
not that we know
venues
anything,
to, because I'm sure people switch venues.
But what if you switched it, you publicized it, you put notes on the door, and then, but you change your time to 6:30, that way when people show up at 6, they have time to make it to the high school gym.
It's what we can do legally, not what we'd like to do.
But could you legally do that?
Well, I think that's the problem, because somebody, could you imagine a situation where somebody said, well, I was coming by,
Right.
I knew there was preliminaries, and we come by at 6:30, and I got here at 6:30, and it was already going on someplace else.
Didn't know what, yeah.
So, yeah, but
I don't want that.
I'm always assuming these meetings that somebody's, that the time that's set in the newspaper notice, you've got to have something that occurs at that location with the body. Okay, so the body's there, the person's, the notice is there, they're sitting, and it goes.
I agree.
So, but if you have already published that the meeting could be adjourned to another location, then that covers us that way as far as notification, right?
Yeah, everybody's at 6 o'clock, with paper notice, they're at the place where they're supposed to be.
And you put a note on all the doors saying meeting was started, adjourned, and moved.
Yeah, you're fine.
Would it be adjourned or recessed to the new location?
I think it's called adjourn, but I think a recess is just time out. I think adjourn means moving it some other date or some other location.
Okay.
So the publication was adjournment to the community building.
Yeah, and if it said that,
It said that.
Then we're kind of up
That's
the
where
creek
it's
there.
gonna be.
Do you think there will be more than 150 people?
Yeah.
And that's information we need to know. If that's the case, then republish it and kick it down the road 20 days.
A lot of people left because they didn't want to be, it was too busy, it was crazy, it was a headache.
I get it. I would agree with you.
And some people thought they would wait and come this next Thursday because people that came last Thursday wouldn't come again. So I think they're gonna have a big crowd. Matter of fact, some of them that, had registered to speak decided to wait till this
they're
time.
planning on taking public comment.
That is what this
That's what
is.
this is.
Oh, it is.
It is just
Oh, the
public comment.
25th wasn't public comment.
So
It's all
Yes.
public comment.
I think it's easier just to step back,
Yeah,
pick a larger
I was
venue,
just-
publish it for 20 days, and then do it again.
I think that would be very best.
I think it is what it is.
Alright, cancel.
I'd say cancel unless they,
Reschedule.
Well, I think the planning commission cancel.
They have to make that decision,
yeah,
not us.
I mean, that's what I'm recommending.
We don't get to make
Well,
it.
how does that happen unless it's on October 2nd? Or do I contact Jonathan and
Your
say?
vice chair. Your vice chair is he's in charge now, the chair is left. And so he gets to make that decision. And
So I think it's when the meeting happens, wherever you said, where does it start? At here? You start at here, you say, everybody, there's too many people, you have to have a venue where everybody can be accommodated. We're not gonna consider the regs here today. We're gonna continue that to another date, and we'll give you proper notice, there'll be a republication of notice. And you can even go so far as to say, if you want to be on the list to receive updates, here it is, put your name down. If you want to do that, I don't care. But just resetting the whole thing.
So I would recommend getting hold of Jonathan as soon as you leave here, so that we can get it published on the website, so we can get it published in the recorder, so we can get it put on Facebook, every place that we can possibly think of, to get the information out there to keep 150 people from coming here Thursday night and just to watch them adjourn the meeting.
Can I make one
Sure.
suggestion?
Yes.
I would get on the phone with Kurt and let him know that's what's gonna happen. And then if, with the tables all put away, if he has a room for 180, we'll get some road and bridge guys, go on pickups, we'll haul stuff
Okay,
out there.
Commissioner Callahan, I'm talking about canceling the meeting altogether
I know
rather than adjourning it there.
No, I understand that. I think she needs to get a hold of Kurt before she talks to the vice chair to make sure Kurt doesn't have a wedding that night.
No,
We're not
I've
talking about
already
meeting without
contacted
Where are you
him
gonna move
second.
it?
Just adjourn the meeting altogether and not have it because of the accommodations. We can't move
Right,
it.
but you have to make a decision where it's gonna go, correct?
But not for that
You're not
night.
gonna republish. Not for that night.
We're gonna
For the
republish.
new publish, that's what I'm
Yes.
talking about.
But we
One
had,
day's
we
down
had
the road.
objections to going out there because there's gravel. We had objections to going there because there's gravel. So we're gonna have to find a different venue, whether it be Jackson Heights, Holton, Royal Valley, to get things to further accommodations. That's what the whole kicking it out to the community
But I
building.
think, the confusion here is, I'm saying that this meeting that's being held is basically saying we're not gonna decide anything. That notice is terminated. New notice, new meeting, went in. So we got
Yeah.
room to do all that.
And that would be up
Let
to the
the
chair.
vice chair make
Yeah.
those calls and
Not us.
figure out where he
That's-
wants to be.
That's gonna have to be the chair make the decision, whether he polls all of the members or what, to find that out.
If he makes that decision, they all still have to come here, so we still have people
Is that-
showing up here.
Is that a regular meeting?
No,
Okay. Well, and that, the only purpose of the meeting was for that.
it's for public comment.
Yeah, I don't think, if he's gonna just say we're gonna adjourn the meeting, or we're not gonna act because of the accommodation problem, then I would like for it to be the whole board there, because there's no action that's, but technically, I think the only thing he could do, if there's only like a few people there, it's not a quorum, is that he can adjourn it to another day, which just causes more confusion. Right? If he doesn't have a quorum, then there's no quorum, then it's just,
So he can decide, like, we're just gonna stick with the second, we're just gonna stick with the courthouse, and
sure,
he can make that call too.
you can make that call too. I mean, I think the commission's saying that we'd like to have everybody accommodated. It's his
So
call.
that's always a suggestion.
So it's his call.
Boy, am I confused.
Well, we can't tell them how to perform their meetings at a certain level. We can say, here's the legal requirements to have a legal meeting, and our preference is that everybody get heard. But they're a commission, they make the rules. I mean,
So I have personnel issues I need to discuss.
We can do executive session. I'd entertain a motion for executive session for matters of non-elected personnel.
I move that we go into executive session for the purpose of personnel matters of non-elected personnel
Or
What?
employee performance, or
for a period of
A
15
number
minutes.
of employee
okay,
15 minutes, 20 minutes,
20,
20 minutes, starting at
11:24.
11:24. With the meeting reopened at 11:44 at this location with our clerk and our attorney. And Kate.
I'll second.
it's probably moving second to go into executive session for matters of non-elected personnel, employee performance. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye, all opposed, same sign.
Motion carried.
Claims against the county for 10 minutes with clerk, attorney, us.
Move to go into executive session for attorney-client privilege discussion for a period of 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 45, starting at 45. 44.
Yeah, we're supposed to be in 5-4, so.
Thank you. that the meetings reopen in this room, 55 and 11:55, to include our attorney and the clerk.
Yes,
Do we have a second?
Second.
It's probably moved and second to go to executive session for attorney-client privilege claims against the county. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, Todd, do you have anything else for us today?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Anybody else have anything for Todd?
Rise up to the boss.
I guess you're, yeah. I guess you're good.
I would say that.
Has everybody read through their minutes from September 11th?
I have.
You have?
I have.
All right. I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes from September 11th.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve minutes from September 11th. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Has everybody read the minutes from September 22nd?
And
Okay, the minutes from September 22nd, I would entertain a motion to approve with corrections.
so moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes of September 22nd with corrections. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All we have left is...
American.
Hi, Mary.
Yes.
I believe all we've got left is bills and...
Bills.
Thank you guys. You might check your email. You got a letter from Scott.
Yeah, about the bridge.
Yeah. Hey, Todd.
Yes.
Bye, Todd. Thank you. I like it.
Yeah, fine with it.
You want me to respond to him for all of us? Or each of you want to respond to him?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm there.
Okay. Kate's income up until September is $25,834.38.
Say that again.
$25,834.38
For,
for Kate's income that she brought in.
does she have enough in her budget to, because a full-time staff's gonna run with benefits and 70 to 84, 5, somewhere there.
Yeah. We're not giving money back, we sorry.
We just got emails from getting 83,000 and we're at 1 week clear, 83,000 equally something like that. And there's another one that's
For the sheriff?
yeah, she was always
So what's the pay scale? What about 26? Okay, thank you.
Do you know you take this paper? It's,
She has a special rate that she pays for stuff for children. It's all. Okay, an employee for the year at $20.68, your total compensation would be $63,881.39.
63 and some change. That's if they hired with the top salary.
That's the bottom salary.
Anything else for us today?
We're gonna go ahead and do something with, Road and Bridge, as far as getting something posted somewhere.
Yeah, I'm working with, I mean, I'm not, like I say, I'm not familiar with any of that. Do we use anything that we had before?
I think we got the.
I mean, you said something about, the Association of Counties, or maybe Todd.
Yeah, I don't know if they, yeah, I think Todd brought municipalities, that's the Association of Counties. I think that, I believe that they have some kind of an employment deal on their website. Indeed, ZipRecruiter.
Is it gonna be for a superintendent or?
Road and Bridge Supervisor. But, thanks, Kim.
You know, push.
You're the one who's the ass.
It does. I mean, based on that, depending on their range, it's probably gonna be between 27 and 28 mark window, based on that, with step increases up to 31.72.
I asked what the topic is here, I'm a little confused.
Excuse me?
I asked what the topic is, I'm a little confused, I can't hear you.
We're talking
Employment road bridge.
about, higher
Supervisor. Gotcha.
bottom salary is. Oh, it does say, it does have the number, so we're gonna have to start with that. That's gonna be the max. Yeah, I'd say if any, I mean, we can get on Indeed or one of those. We can post it locally, home recorder.
And what do you want the range to be? For summer.
Well, it's whatever the 2025, yeah.
Okay, so KDC has a career center. Kansas City County members may now post job openings free of charge. You can get on the KDC website, can't you? Okay. So when we figure it out, if you want to jump on there. It's under the heading Connect with KDC members. So start there and see what we can
And
do.
I'm just using the job description when I corrected.
I think that would be just fine.
We are gonna put in the home recorder.
Case number 100 is Justin. What about the second?
Say that again.
Case for hire to replace Justin. How am I telling her on her second Jessica?
Doesn't sound like we have much, a choice. Did you guys get where I was going by backing up 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think, yeah, we just need to, we're gonna have to figure out budget-wise where we have money. I know there was still some left over after the health insurance increase out of Brooks refund. Seemed like there was maybe 30-ish
There's some left here.
there. And then what was the other place that, adult community corrections?
She might, I mean, possibly.
Have enough to carry her own through the end of the year.
We'll hope.
So,
Can she use capital outlay money? She probably has decent capital outlay money. If she had to.
I think that, yeah, I think capital outlay money she has, she's saving up for Eagle View again and all that, so.
As long as it's not going to interfere with what she's building towards for even view over the next several years.
total exposure on that will be 63,000.
All right, that helps me. All right, thank you.
All right, gonna be pushing.
Everything else being
Anything else coming for us today?
No.
Linda?
No.
All right, nothing else coming for us today. Call for motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried, meeting adjourned.
Do we know yet anything about the Thursday night meeting, how that's going to be handled? Not yet.
I'd contact Kate about that. I'd contact Kate about that probably later this afternoon or tomorrow morning. Give her time chance to contact her members
Watch the website.
and watch the website.